Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
Groovy! It's groovy!
Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
All right, let's try some different music. Or I'm in a groovy mood, or at least I'm trying to get into a groovy mood. Let's try this one. This is more 80s.
Artlist.io.
Reminds me of some show, like a theme song or something.
Music licensing reimagined.
Oh my God, so fun. So fun. That one kind of petered out there at the end. I didn't like that ending part, but the beginning part I really did like. All right. Hello, everyone. Today we are talking about the 3 big reasons why people are not showing up to your lives. We're going to talk about why that matters, what's happening, and most importantly, what you need to do to fix it. How do we course correct it? Now, here's an interesting statistic. 40% of people, and you know what? I did not ask ChatGPT for the data. I will go back and find the data on this. But 40% of people say that they joined because of the topic. I thought this was so interesting. So I want to know from you all, what makes you show up live? Why did you show up live today for me? Or why do you show up live for other people? Is it the topic? Is it the speaker? Or is it something else? I actually put this in a post thread in the group and got some initial insights. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up while you all are answering the question, typing the question. For those of you that are new to me, hello, my name is Jamie Hain. I am a video and growth coach. And I decided for the month of November that I wanted to give back. In the US, this is our month of Thanksgiving. It's one of our big holidays. And I was thinking about, what do I want to do for the holidays? What do I want to do for Black Friday? How do I give back? And what really kind of came to me is I want to help people with the problem that they're really having. And what I hear so often from you guys is, how do I get people to show up to my lives? How do I get people to comment on my lives? How do I get people to engage more? And so all month, that is what we are focused on. So it's my way of giving. Those of you, by the way, while I'm thinking of it, those of you that are in the Go Live League, if you are in that membership, immediately after today's live, we will go over to Zoom. And it's an open Q&A. I'll help you apply any and all of the things that we talk about today. So it's our same Zoom call as normal. If you are watching this and you're like, I want to be in that, come and join the Go Live League. You can just join for 1 month. You can cancel at any point. So if that's of interest, let me know and I'll get you the details. Okay, let's look at this post. Oh, that's what it was. I've got this in the wrong order. See, okay, here is a moment of crap happens. And so what do? You run with it. I've got things in the wrong order. I talked about the wrong survey and the wrong post, and it's okay. Nobody's going to leave because of it. Instead, we are going to look at this one, which is, why do you think people are not showing up? Why do you think people are not showing up? So some of the answers that you guys gave me are, they're not scheduling them regularly. They're not providing valuable content. They're not the right people. We're not being consistent. Content again, not marketing it, not consistent. People don't know because I'm not announcing it. There's some common themes in here, right? Inconsistency, wrong content, timing. I love all of the above. Yes to all of these things. Okay, so very, very interesting. I'll come back to the other one here later in the show today. But I want to see what you guys have said. Okay. Okay, speaker and topics, combination of both. Interested in the topic, but love the speaker too. Topic, you and the topic, awesome. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, very, very interesting stuff, right? So there's sort of a mix between all of these things. Yes? Okay. But I am going to give you from all my experience, all of the time that I've been doing this, honestly, even checking in on myself. When I do a live and it maybe doesn't go as well as I want it to go, or I don't get as many people on, if I have to check myself and say, okay, what did I or didn't I do that could contribute to this? Okay. So number one is, you guessed it, the topic. The topic isn't of interest. I don't want to learn this. That is not going to help me, or I don't understand how that topic connects to my biggest problem or my biggest challenge. Okay. So how do we fix this first one? I'm going to get into all three. Don't you worry, but this is just the first one. How do we fix this particular one? Okay. Number one, hold on here. Clicking on the wrong buttons. Okay. Let me ask you this question. When you think about how you're going to come up with a topic that is going to be of interest, where do you get stuck? When you sit there and you're like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm picking a juicy topic that people actually want to show up for, what is getting in your way of doing that? Drop some comments. I want to make sure that for those of you that are on with me live, that we focus this on where your problems or your challenges are. And if you are watching on the replay and you've got something different than what we talk about, drop it in the comments and I'll get back to you as I see the comment roll in. Okay. Okay. Carol says understanding your audience, and Catherine says overthinking it. Yeah, can be both of those things, right? Okay, so you need to ask your audience. Now, before you all go crazy and be like, I do, and they never comment, and they never tell me, and they don't answer the questions, and they don't, all of these things. Let's dive into the specifics, because how you ask them this information matters. It changes the discussion, okay? You have to recognize and remember that you are the expert. They are not the expert. So when you ask them, what do you all want to talk about? They go, I don't know. Shouldn't you know? You're the host in here. Shouldn't you have a plan? Shouldn't you have a roadmap? Shouldn't you be taking us on a journey? These are some of the expectations they have. So they don't necessarily know how to answer that question when you ask it in that way. So instead, try asking it more like, what is your biggest challenge or your biggest struggle with this? And see how that just opens up a whole bunch of topics, right? Many of you often say, I do a poll and people will vote. Sometimes that works, sometimes that don't, because sometimes I've done this before. Everybody votes for everything. And you're like, it's a 5-way tie. How am I supposed to pick? And so that's in the moment where I go, I'm the expert. What do I believe they need in order to solve this problem right here, the biggest struggle that they're having? Okay. You can ask this. You could ask this in your entry questions as people join your group. That way you're constantly getting input on what their struggles and challenges are. You can also ask this as a color block that maybe you ask a couple times a year. Maybe it's once a quarter that you ask. You can even put this in your welcome post to ask. There's lots of different ways that you can get this input, okay? But I will tell you this, nothing is going to beat getting on market research calls and actually talking to your people, to somebody who is your ideal client. If you just talk to anybody, they might not be your ideal client and you could have a mismatch. Okay. So what I find is that when I just say, hey, I'm doing market research calls, anybody want to jump on a call with me? People will willingly do it. So it's really going to come down to making sure you pick the right people. You can do this one-on-one or even in a group, but all I want you to do is go in there and say, I'm going to ask questions and I'm just going to soak it all up. It's not an opportunity to coach or pitch or sell. You are just trying to listen and understand what their challenges are. Now, this one takes some time, but it is well worth it, okay? You can also pull this information from your existing people, the people who have already bought your programs. What are your one-on-one clients saying? What are the people in your group call saying? This assumes that you have those things in place. But what are the problems? What are the questions they're asking? That can be an indicator of, okay, this is like the third time this week I've had this. This is probably, if my ideal clients who I already have are saying this, chances are more people who would become an ideal client are having the same challenge, okay? So it's really about making sure that you know and understand who your ideal client really is, okay? For those of you that are in any of my paid programs, you have a workbook available to you on understanding who your ideal client is. If you have not done that work, I would highly recommend you message me and say, give me that, and go through that exercise. I try to do it twice a year. Sometimes just putting my head in this position of I've got to understand who these people are and what their challenges are makes me have all sorts of ahas. Okay, and for those of you that are like, I want that and I'm not in there, join the Go Live League. It's the least expensive option to get into my world and start getting access to some of these great resources. Okay. Another thing you can do is look at past engagement. So if you go back through past lives, and not just lives, but even posts, which topics got more interest? That's an indicator, okay? The last indicator is really what's going on in the world. What is trending in your niche, in your industry, in your space that people might want to know about? I'll give you an example. When Zoom and Facebook groups, when that all went jiggy wonky upside down in April, that was something my audience wanted me to talk about. That's what I mean by a trending topic. Okay? All right. Hopefully that helps you get at least some ideas. Now, beyond just asking your audience, we're still on this idea of my topic's not interesting. You also have to look at what is it that you can help them with. Okay, I might be hearing from my audience that everybody is like sluggishly tired right now, and they're not really sure what's going on, but they're drained of energy. Okay, so that could indicate that that's something to be talking about. But is that my space? Is that my zone of genius? You're going to want to check in on that and make sure that you're not confusing your audience. Okay. Now, what always comes up when you start thinking about what do I have, what do I know that I can share, is this question of free versus paid. Do I give free content? Do I give paid content? I don't want to give my paid content. And so this gets, right? And there's all sorts of advice on this one, as you guys know. Really what I want you to stop and think about is, what is it that people are buying from you? The people who have purchased from you, why did they buy from you? Most of the time, it is because it's not for the knowledge necessarily. It's for the clarity. It's for the direction. It's for the application. They often buy because they want your help in applying what they may already know or what they can find on the internet. So this whole idea of you can't give anything that's in your paid program, I'm about to say hooey on that. Okay? What I want to know from you is, what makes something valuable? Helping someone, let me put that one back up. Helping somebody solve a problem doesn't mean that you solve it for them. It means that you help them get started in your group, on your profile for free, and then that entices them to buy. So think about what makes something valuable. It doesn't always have to be the specific details. One of the things that I love, and I don't know who started this phrase or what, but give them the what and the why for free, and the how is something that's charged for. Okay, that's one way that you can do it. So I'm going to tell you what to do, why you should do it, but if you want to learn how to do it, that's in my paid program. There's still value in understanding the what and the why. Okay. Another way to look at this is the pizza pie. And I've talked about this a number of different times. And that is this idea of you give somebody one piece of pizza, one little piece of your content, and they have a win and they like it, they're going to want more because nobody can eat just one piece of pizza. So sometimes it's helpful to look at what is inside my paid program and what little teeny bit can I give away for free that gives them a win, that is seen as valuable, that helps them with that problem or challenge, and makes them want more. Following me so far? Okay. Now, let's talk about the last piece. Whatever you are picking for your topic, in order to make it interesting, make sure that it is connected to that offer. So when we're talking about the why and the what, or the what and the why, and not the how, or we're talking about I'm going to give you a little piece, and then I'm going to make you want more, make sure that your more, the how, is an offer that you have. Otherwise, there's not a connection there. There's not that moment of, oh my gosh, this was so good. I like this so much. What else has she got? How can I keep going? How do I get more? If you don't have that as an offer, you're kind of leaving them hanging, right? Or if it's not as connected, they're going, well, wait a minute. I wanted this, and you're now offering me a cookbook? I don't understand how that connects with what we're talking about. So make sure there's a connection between those as you're picking topics, okay? A lot of nuances in here, but picking topics is a critical skill that you need to learn how to do. ChatGPT can be tremendously helpful. If you just plug in who you're all about, what you like to talk about, I've even shared, here's what's in my programs. I don't want to give all of this away, but what's a small piece I could give away? It's very helpful in that way, okay? Okay, any questions on topic not interesting before we get into reason number 2? Let me check the comments here and make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, you guys are saying, yes, you guys are right with me. I love seeing all these comments that you're saying the same things I'm saying. So that tells me there's alignment there, okay? Carol says, give them options. Yes. Help. When we say, I've seen this meme. I'm sure you guys have seen it too. You don't ask your spouse, where do you want to eat? Because they go, I don't know. I don't care. What you say is, do you want pizza or tacos? And then they'll pick one, right? Same thing applies to your audience. Elizelle says, I use Google and ask the public to get topics. Great. Yes. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to keep going. Reason number 2. They don't know that you're live, or they forget. So reason number 1 is the topic's not interesting. I don't care about that. I'm not going to show up live because I don't need to know that, okay? Reason number 2 is I don't know about it, or I've forgotten about it. Your job is to market even that free live event as if it were a paid offer. So there's lots of different ways that you can do that. But I think the biggest call out that I will give you is to say, just posting it once or just creating an event and putting it out there and being like, okay, I hope people show up it's not ever going to be enough. So you really have to think about how are you going to promote your live event? And beyond how are you going to promote that, how are you going to remind people that it's happening? And beyond that, how are you going to follow up? I know a couple of people in that survey said the timing doesn't work. You're never going to please everybody. So what you have to do is say, I'm going to do it when it makes the most sense for me and the most sense for my audience. And then I got a handle on this one and make sure that people who missed it have the link to watch the replay. There have been all sorts of studies. I haven't pulled recent numbers, but it used to be 80% of your views on a video come after you're live. Stop and think about that. 80%. That makes this follow-up piece really important. Okay. Now, let's go back to this. How do you promote and how do you remind people? It's in all of the different things. The best tip that I can give you is variety really helps. So how are all of the different types of posts that you can do? You can do posts, you can send emails, you can do different kinds of posts, you can do color block posts, you can do graphic posts, you can do a post with your face. All of those different things generate different interests for different people. And it's all about making sure that you're putting a plan together on how you're going to promote your lives. Okay? Reminding, you probably don't want to go quite as extreme, but a color block post that says, hey, live in 15 minutes, or an email that says live in 15 minutes will go a long ways. Okay? Okay. Any questions about these before we talk about this little guy? Consistency. This was one of the things that you guys guessed. And so consistency really falls into this category. Okay? So before you think that, I'm going to go to my phone, make sure I haven't missed any comments. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else. All right, I'm gonna keep going. So you being consistent falls into this whole idea of people don't know or they forget. Okay, so if you are consistent and you say, I go live every Thursday at 12 o'clock Mountain Time, people can put that in their calendar and they know that it's always going to happen. If you are all over the place with your time and your date, it's hard to follow that. It's hard to keep track of it, especially when so many of us are in multiple groups following multiple people. It's like you don't know which end is up. So your consistency does matter. Now, for those of you that are like, yeah, but my schedule doesn't allow for that, I hear you. So what you will have to do is make sure that you are as clear in communicating it up front as you can be. Put out a calendar for the month. Start in your marketing, make sure that you're clear when you're doing it. The other part of this consistency thing is if you just all of a sudden vanish for 3 months, your audience will start to be like, I don't want to like her and like her content, and then she just disappears. So that's the bit about they forget about you, because if you're not showing up regularly, it's out of sight, out of mind. See how that works? Okay. Let's talk about reason number 3. So let's refresh. 3 reasons why people don't show up. Your topic is boring. It has not got a big enough hook. It does not directly connect and tie into what they're worried about, what they're wanting to learn, what they're focused on. Number 2, even if they saw that you were going live and talking about something that made them go, oh yeah, I want that, they forget about it. Or they don't see the one piece of communication that you put out. It could be the best topic ever, but if they don't see that one post and you don't post it multiple times, they're not going to show up. Okay? The third one, this one I'm going to tell y'all, this one's going to sting a little bit. You probably didn't hear that. My microphone probably filtered it out, but it sounded like a car backfire right outside my window. Okay, here's number 3. You ready? Your skills in doing a live, in doing a video, if people aren't going to show up. Okay? Now I want to talk about this one because honestly, all 3 of these are things that you can drive and change, right? The first one is you can work at picking better topics. You can give away juicier bits of information that's going to draw in that audience. Okay. On the second one, you can have a strategy, a communication plan, and you can figure out how to make sure that people know that this is happening. And the third one is if you suck on video, you can get better. Now let's talk about this one a little bit. Okay. Why do you show up live for a particular person? So whether you want to think about me, that's fine. Think about somebody else that you show up for live. What is it that they do during the live that makes you go, oh yeah, I'm tuning into that? It's no different than you saying, I like this show on Netflix. I don't like that show. Why do we like one thing and not another? What's going on? So stop and think about the people that you tune in for, that you follow. What makes you want to show up live for them? What are the things that they are doing? This is where survey number 2 comes in, okay? So I asked, why do you show up live to other people's events? And the variety of answers are speaker topic, speaker topic, speaker topic. Both speaker and topic. Content, but also the person. So what I'm saying here is that those two parts and pieces are important. If you only have one, not gonna be enough. If you have the world's best topic ever, but you are boring, people are not going to stay. If you are entertaining and fun and whatever else, but people don't learn anything or it doesn't help them, they won't come back. They might stay for that event, but they're not going to be like, what else does she got? When is she going live? What's the next topic? They won't keep coming back. They won't keep returning. So you got to have both of them. Okay, let me check comments, make sure I see what you all have said. Okay, there's a question. Catherine says, what is a color block? A color block is a post. Hold on. Let me come back to that because I got to show you on my phone, and I'll lose comments if I walk away. So I'm going to come back to that one, Catherine. I'm gonna write a note right now so I don't forget. Okay, what is a color block? Sometimes a visual is better than me trying to explain it. Okay. Hold on here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, you are saying energy, the person's energy, right? If that's fun and uplifting, it doesn't mean haha funny. It can be serious topics, intense topics, but if the speaker is engaging, it makes a difference, right? Versus if I were to come on here and be like, hello everyone, today we're going to talk about why people don't show up for your lives. That's not good energy, right? Not good energy. Okay, Debbie says, I like the personality and the excitement. We all want to be pumped up. We all want to feel that excitement. Again, I'm so excited you are here versus I'm so excited you are here. Which do you believe? Yeah, people are wanting to be inspired and engaged and honestly a little bit entertained, right? We've all been on calls, other people's calls, where it's like on and on and on. Like I think of that Julia Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld, that gif. It's one of my favorites where she's like, oh. You know which one I'm talking about? One of my favorites. Same thing. Yes. Okay. Kimberly says they resonate with me where I'm at, and they have what I'm looking for to solve my problem or challenge. That's about topic. That's about insight. Doesn't mean you have to give away all of the secrets, all of the hows. Sometimes a win, sometimes value comes from just having a really good insight. Love that. Okay, Catherine's good on the color block. I'm gonna tear this up. Okay. Carol said I would run. Yes. Okay, so as harsh as this is, let's look at the flip side of this, okay? What makes you stop showing up? When you see a really good topic and you're like, oh, I need that. I need to show up for that. And then you show up for it. What makes you run? I'm guessing it's some of these things. I'm just putting it out there so you don't have to say it, right? But it's things like they're annoying. They're boring. They go on and on and on, and there's no point. There's no engagement. They're not connecting with you. They're not asking you questions. They're reading, or even worse, all you see is a screenshot or a PowerPoint presentation or slides from Canva, and there's no person, no face, right? They ramble. They're all over the place, and you're like, where are they going? And as a result of that, it's confusing, and you're like, I don't even know what I'm learning here. Maybe, they're distracted and not focused. Listen, I know I can tend to do this from time to time, like just now when the car backfired. But I called it out. I told you what was going on, and we got right back on track, right? But some people get distracted by something, and then it all is lost. And 10 minutes goes by, and you're like, what is happening, right? These are all the things that make you go, I'm out. I'm gonna run, like Carol said, right? Are there others? Are there other things that make you go, I'm out? Let's see what you guys say. Okay, this was back on the previous question about knowledge of the topic. And I think that's an important call out, right? You don't, and what we're here talking about the bad reasons. So I'm going to kind of flip this to the bad. If you don't feel like they know what they're talking about, or they're not giving you things that actually help, it can be a problem. And sometimes we do that because we're guarding it. I can't give away my secrets. If I give away my secrets, Let me get rid of all this. If I give away my secrets, then they won't buy from me. Yes? The problem is, if you don't give me at least one secret, I don't know that you know what you're talking about. So sometimes, going back to that pizza pie, I got to give you one slice, and I got to make you want the rest of it. See how that works? Okay. Okay. Is this making sense on these video skills? Yes? Sometimes when we look at other people and we say, what are they doing well? Or what do I not want to do? We can learn ourselves. We can understand that piece of this, okay? Now, if you want to rock your video skills, hello, that's what I do. I can help you with this. The thing about video skills is you have to learn them, yes, but you have to practice them. And you have to kind of go through some suck to get better. You can't get better on video just by watching other people. Very hard to make significant progress. I like to think of it like this. Inside of my programs, you are learning 3 critical things. You are first learning how to craft your message. This is specifically about what am I going to talk about and how do I talk about it? It's the content, it's the structure around your content, and it's the delivery of that content. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is you will learn how to stand out on camera, to be confident, to speak with authority, to grab attention, to be compelling, and more than any of that, to be your real, true, authentic self. Because people can tell when you're not being yourself. Okay? And the last part of this kind of trifecta is what is going on visually. Now, this can be everything from your camera and your lighting and even your microphone, which is probably more auditory than visual, but it's also how are they engaging me and how do you pull your audience in so they're literally on the edge of their seats wanting more and more and more. Yes? Okay, now there are multiple different ways that you can learn and improve your video skills. I am getting ready to start my next Shine on Camera, but over the holidays, when we do it over the holidays, we call it Sparkle and Shine on Camera. Oops, wrong one. Let's show this one. Sparkle and Shine on Camera, because we got to get a little Christmas, we got to get a little holiday fun in there, okay? The key difference here with this program is that it's about feedback. Okay, we've talked about all of the parts and pieces that you need to learn, and you need to practice, and you need to understand all of these things. But feedback can be scary. Okay, so I want to know right now from all of you, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you like feedback? On a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being, oh, please no, I don't want to hear it, to 10, it's like oxygen. If I don't have feedback, I can't move forward. I need feedback. Scale of 1 to 10, how you feeling about feedback? Let's see some numbers in there. Okay, I'm waiting on the numbers. There's a delay. It's not too bad, but there is a delay. Okay, 8. That's really good. That's really good. My number would be high as well. Sometimes I think it's probably 9 or 10 because I feel I love feedback so much, and I feel like that's what moves us forward. But I'm seeing some pretty high numbers. 10, 9, 7, 8, high numbers. Okay, now, for those of you that are not typing in those high numbers and you got lower numbers, why? There was a post I did the other day, and I can't even remember what the topic was. I'm sure it has something to do with feedback. And I think it was Lori said, some people don't like feedback because they're not in the right space to hear that feedback. And you know what? That's totally valid. But I also think that sometimes if you've had a bad experience with somebody giving you feedback and there's almost trauma around it, we can tend to be resistant against it instead of wanting it. Here's the thing with feedback. You don't have to listen to it. It's just like that voice in your head. You don't have to listen to that feedback. The intent of feedback is to help make you better. But you don't have to listen to it. But I think the people who do good feedback, who give good feedback, I like to say that all the time. I give good feedback. It doesn't feel yucky. It doesn't feel awful. It doesn't feel like you've been, told you're awful at something. That's not what good feedback is about. Good feedback is about saying, here's what you're good at. We need to do more of this. You have a natural talent for doing this. Do more of that. And let's fine tune and tweak some of these things. Let me show you how to do that. How does that feel for you? That's what good feedback looks like. So if you're out there and you're resisting feedback, I just want you to know I give good feedback. And just because you've had a bad experience in the past, try again, because especially all of you that have such high numbers on here, you know the value of that. You know how important that is. Carol says it depends on how it was delivered. Absolutely. Absolutely. Catherine says, I love feedback, good practice, letting my ego go. Sometimes that's exactly what it is, right? That feedback, if it is, you are so right. It's so right. Yes. If you want to get better, you're going to be more open to feedback. If you don't really want to get better, you're going to be more resistant. And obviously, there's an ego in play there. Absolutely. So right. Okay. If you don't mind, I want to talk a little bit about Sparkle and Shine. I'll keep this super short in case if you are interested. I love doing this program because the difference is visible. I see it, the participants see it, everybody else sees it, and it's because of that feedback that makes such a difference. Okay, so Sparkle and Shine is 8 weeks of group coaching, but it is a hybrid. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. So there are weekly videos, weekly workbooks that you are learning as you are going. There are weekly group coaching calls where that learning continues. We talk about it, we practice it, we ask questions, we apply what we've learned. Here's the best part. Every week, that means 8 times, you are going to do a video practicing what you've learned. I'm going to watch that video and I'm going to give you feedback so that you can strengthen the things you're already great at and we can fine tune the things that need some work. Okay. You also get access to me, pocket coaching, which means you can message me anytime you want and say, I need a pep talk. I'm struggling with this. How do I do this? For the whole program. Here's the best part. You have lifetime access once you start with us. What does that mean? That means every time I do this program, you can attend again and again and again. So those of you that have done Shine with me in the past, guess what? We're getting ready to start this next one. You're going to get to go through it again if you want. You don't have to go through all 8 weeks, but you can go through the pieces that you might need to work on. Now, I will say this, for those of you that are repeating, you get access to the sessions. You don't get the weekly feedback. There's a small fee if you want to add that. So just reach out to me if that applies to you. Okay. So lifetime access to the Facebook group, lifetime access to the program and the group coaching calls every time it's offered. So what that means is if you don't get it all perfect within those 8 weeks, you can come the next time. You can fine tune, you can adjust, whatever you need. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, how much is this thing? It is $597 or $150 a month for 4 months. If you stretch that off to lifetime access, you can actually go through this program. I offer it 3 times a year for that price point. So I hope you will join us. I would love to work with you in this way. For those of you that are in the Go Live League or any of my other programs, you do get a discount on this price. Just ask me if you're interested and I'll get you your coupon code. Okay? All right. Let's talk a little bit about homework from today. And I want to talk a little bit about next steps. Your homework is to check yourself. I want you to go back to a live that you have done or the last few lives that you have done. And I want you to look at that and say, was it a juicy topic? Was it of interest? Is that something that my ideal perfect client is waking up in the middle of the night going, I have this problem, help me? If not, score yourself on that. I'll work on that. Okay. Then I want you to look at how many people showed up. And look at what was your strategy. How many posts did you do? How many emails did you send? How did you communicate that it was happening? Is there an opportunity there? And finally, I want you to look at yourself. And I know some of you are like, I don't like to look at myself. I don't like to watch my videos. Same, I get it. But if you can go at it and say, I'm looking at this to see if there's opportunities for me to improve. Not to judge, not to be harsh on myself, but to say, where are my opportunities? What do I need to get better at? that can be an amazing opportunity for you for growth. Okay, so that's your homework. If I can help in any of those spaces, you let me know. If it is specifically the video skills, come and join us for Sparkle and Shine, and I will help you over 8 weeks. You will be amazed at the difference that makes. Okay, let's talk next steps. So today's session is part of a 3-part series that we're doing in November. Next Thursday, same time, same place, we're going to talk about how do you get the people who are on to comment. So as you do this homework and you go back and you do a little bit of audit and you see, I got good plays. I got 27 people played my video, watched my video. Awesome. How many comments did you get? If there's no comments, next week you're going to want to tune in for. How do you create that engagement and how do you get people to actually comment? So today is how do you get them to show up? Next week is how do I get them to comment? The week after, which by the way happens to be Otis's birthday, is how do you get people to comment on posts? So we're stepping away from video and we're going to talk about post content. Okay. Any questions for me before I wrap us up today? I'm just checking here, see if I got anything. Okay. Catherine says, you do give good feedback, Jamie. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that. Okay. Next, I covered the next steps already. Here's what I'm going to say in summary. What you're trying to do with this, with everything that we've talked about today, is you have to know what they want and what they need and how you can help them take a step. You don't have to solve. You're just starting forward progress. The bigger the win they have, the more likely they are to want to work with you. Okay? Number 2, you got to make sure they know about it and they don't miss it. Reminders, replays, communications, you got to have a whole strategy around that. If you can do both of those things, that is how you're going to grow your audience. That is how you're going to get more of those people to show up with you live, to watch replays. And if you have amazing video skills, they'll keep tuning in. They'll keep showing up again and again and again. That's the secret. All right. Hope you got some tremendous value today. I would love to know what was the best thing you got out of today's session. Drop it in the comments. I love collecting those aha moments. It helps me learn. It also helps me celebrate. And this is a really great little ending tip for you to do as well. If you want to make sure that your content was on target, that your delivery was on target, ask your people to tell you what they liked, what they didn't like, and ask them for feedback. There's that word again. Ooh, the dreaded feedback. All right, everybody. Hope this was valuable. Thank you for being here. I will see you next week, and hopefully I will see you inside Sparkle and Shine. Bye, guys. I can't find my button to stop my broadcast. Where did it go? There it is. Bye, everybody.